Okay, I've already taken care of the Pepsi radio. I'm working on the realistic FM AM auto radio. And in the meantime, I know I should be doing other things, but this poor little thing, I think it's ITC solid state 8, which means, I believe, if you can tell, if you remember from the previews, this thing has been hot. The case is shrunk on it. It's really a sad case. But it's let's see, the model number is M1108, 6 transistors, 2 diodes. There's your headphone jack right there. I felt sorry for it. I had to bring it home, at least give it some. But I saw a picture of one of these on one of the Facebook pages that I'm on. What is that called? Portable radio. In other words, it's a Facebook page about little small radios like this right here, little transistorized pocket radios and stuff. But I saw one of those. Still had the brand new box that you get when you buy it. It had all the front, had all the stuff on the knobs and all this stuff, and it was kind of cool seeing one of those. Anyway, I thought we'd take a quick look at this and see if it works. See if we can make it work with the minimum of fuss. I'm waiting on the navel jelly on the little realistic portable radio, car radio / portable radio. I'm waiting on the navel jelly to do this thing. So let me put you in the tripod and let's have another look at this thing. All right, here I am. Brought you back. All right, let's crack her open. Let's see what patients look like inside, because I don't remember. Let's watch the old girl look like inside. What interests me is it looked like that tuning capacitor might have been a little warped in there maybe, but I guess it's alright. So what do you think, girls and boys? The battery connector is broke right there. So it's corroded too. Let me stop you for a minute and see if I've got another connector. I'm going to replace it. And, well, you know what? I'm going to replace it, but I don't want to spend no time if this thing's not salvageable. I'm just going to cut this thing open, see if we can just tack that wire back on there maybe. Just so we can power this thing back up. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright. Pretty rough. And the battery probably got left in it. Well, that'd be something this old girl lived. That would be amazing. Old girl might live another day, hopefully. We'll see. Put a little bit of solder on this lead, tin it just a little bit. It may be too corroded to take solder, I don't know. Yeah, fairly rough. Put a little flux on it. There we go. Put a little flux on it. Does the body good. Ain't good for you to breathe, I know that. Yeah, flux helped. Yeah, see if I can get this plastic out of the way enough. There we go. May need a little flux on that. Looks a little on the corroded side. Flux helps clean the surface. It promotes better soldering, in case you didn't know. And if you got something rusty, crusty like a wire, sometimes you can't do anything with it other than replace the wire. Sometimes it actually works. Things wants to get in on the action here. I guess it's just going to have to burn. Ah, heck, hang on. It's going to force me to have to cut it some more. Get out of the way. Y'all still in frame? Yeah, it ain't going to take solder very well, don't think. Too heavily corroded. I might have a little instance of solder there. See if I can get it to hold. Hold long enough for us to see if it works. 9-volt battery. I had one up here on my bench. What did y'all do with it? You know, somebody got my battery. Probably want one of them other ones. Hang on, let me go find a battery. Well, I guess I'm out of 9-volt batteries, y'all. Well, I got to steal one. I'll steal one from our little red radio there. Ain't doing nothing with it anyway. Don't really need to leave batteries in devices if you're not using them, because you'll forget about them, and guess what? They'll corrode one day when you're not expecting it. And being this a Duracell, it will corrode. Alright, here we go. Makes a little noise. Well, it does play. It's just very low in audio or volume. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3. Now I don't have my glasses on, so hold me to it. I have 1, 2, 3 electrolytics in here that I see. No, I'm not a believer in changing all the electrolytics just because. However, every one of these little radios I've opened up had bad electrolytics. And I'm also not a huge believer of reforming capacitors either. All of them that I've taken apart, yeah, the battery connector finally broke. So, what do you think? Let me get this thing apart and I'll check those capacitors. And change that battery connector. And I'll bring you back. Well, I had to go outside and do something a minute ago, and I had a thought. Most of my videos, as you know how they go, I run my mouth and I tear crap apart, fix it and all that. Let me go try to be instructive to people that's new at doing this stuff. So, what would you do if you had one of these little dudes here? You took it, you brought it, you rescued it from the flea market, and you decided you're going to make it work. And you do like I do. You throw a battery in it, and you determine, okay, well it's got low audio. What do I do? Okay, well let's review. Here's the radio chassis. I'm going to attempt to zoom you in just a little bit more. I can give you all a little vertigo. Zoom you out a little bit. There you go. Hopefully this is in frame for video. Okay, so you get this radio, okay, and it's low audio, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Well, first thing you do not do, leave your screwdrivers somewhere else. Do not adjust anything. Do not touch the tuning on anything. Do not touch this tuning can. Do not touch this tuning can. For whatever you do, do not touch this. Do not touch the adjustments on here. Do not touch these adjustments. Don't touch any adjustments. This is another adjustment right here. It's pretty sealed, but this is the probably the AM oscillator coil. Don't touch any adjustments. What you're looking for 99% of the time is going to be electrolytics, as we've already proved. 1, 2, 3 in here. So don't do anything. Don't just jump in there and say, well, don't go in changing the volume code. Don't be spraying the volume control. Don't do anything that's destructive to this radio. You touch one of these adjustments and you don't have the manual and you've never done that before, more than likely you'll never find a manual for this. Unless you're just really good. You just may as well throw it in a garbage can. Now, what I want to do first is I'm going to replace this battery connector. I had to dig around in my stuff. I finally found one. So what we're going to do, that solder looks awful on these old radios. Lord knows what kind of solder that people actually used. But very carefully, I'm going to add a little freshener. Let me get my favorite tool. I don't know why I didn't get it out already. Okay, that's my favorite tool. Go over to Harbor Freight, you can buy these stainless steel tweezers, various sizes. Boy, these things come in handy. Alright, I'm just pulling the lead off. I'm going to pull that lead through that hole right there that you may or may not can see. Put that aside, don't throw it away, you'll need it in a minute. Also, while you're doing this stuff, make pictures. Looks like a negative ground. Make pictures of where you take stuff loose from, or before you even touch it, take pictures of all the wiring that you can. Reason is, if you move if a wire comes loose, you're gonna like, oh my gosh, where did it come from? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of make these lead links match. And that red's alright. I'm not going to mess with that because it's already 10s. We just need to cut the black wire short just a little bit. Cut these little leads off like this right here. Save them. They'll save your life one day. You might need a piece of wire that's like this. Always save your cutoffs. Go ahead and tin the lead, and what we'll do, try to do what they did. We'll try to, if you're going to take one of these apart and you're going to repair it, make it look like they did. Unless you can make it look better, but I just try to get it back to shape I found it, if it's mechanically sound, I guess. See, like that right there, when I applied heat to this little yellow wire right here, it just came right off. I'll make sure you're on frame. I probably got my fat hands in everybody's way. So, gotta be quick. Gotta use some electronic judo on this stuff, and that looks like that's short now. Yeah. You doggies. That's not my best work. Yeah, I don't like that. That wire look like it's seen better days. It was just long and frayed, and it was touching another connection. Yeah, too much heat. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Okay, now that we got that done, y'all still in frame? Let me know if you're not. So what do we do now? That we've repaired what needed to be repaired. Repaired this old corroded up battery connector. So what do we do now? Well, since you don't have a schematic, the next thing you do is check the most common problem with these radios, with any electronics this age. I don't know how old this radio is. 70s? I doubt it's 80s. It's going to be, I'd say late 60s, late 70s. Why not? I have the 77 buy, but whatever. Anyway, the most common problems, in my opinion, somebody else have a better opinion, so be it. You know what they say about opinions, right? Check the capacitors. Now, how do you check a capacitor? There's 1,000 different ways to do it. There's thousands of tools. But one thing I would suggest is look online and find you a capacitor assortment. The easiest thing to do is find you a capacitor assortment. If you're going to work on transistor radios, get you some in the 10 to 15 volt range. You're going to have to find something that's small bodied, about 1, 2, 3, 4 millimeters in diameter. Get them all around 6 volts. Get them, like a 1 microfarad, 10 microfarad, 22 microfarad, 47 microfarad, 100 microfarad, 220 microfarad. Get those levels. Get them no more than 15 volts, and you'll be doing really good. you don't have a capacitor assortment that you can work. But anyway, getting off point here. These 3 capacitors that's in here, what would you know, if I was working on it, I would automatically suspect those capacitors. Now this is assuming you don't have a capacitor tester. I would say go into the backside and substitute or jump that capacitor across the old one. That's fine. Somebody that's done it a lot can do that reliably. But if you get in there, you've never done one of these before, don't know what you're doing, or you're not quite sure what you're doing, kind of like me, if your lead of that capacitor gets across something else, pop, you're done. So I would suggest buying you a small capacitor tester, and we'll explain a little bit more of that. But let's get back to the radio. Tighten this down, zoom you up, zoom you back in. I must have a little bit of that navel jelly on me from that other project. So I want to pull these capacitors out. First thing, let's do something else. Let's back up a minute. Let's see. We've got a yellow wire and a green wire. Let's see what the green wire. The green wire is attached to a capacitor. Right there. The green wire goes to the speaker, attached to this little 50 microfarad, or so what is that? Yeah, attached to a 50 microfarad 10 volt capacitor. Here's a big old, I think this is what, a TO3 transistor. Big old transistor. Bet you that's the output capacitor. So that'd be the first one to check. And that's what I would do. Look at your speaker, follow the lead back to the PC board, see if it's connected to a capacitor. If it is, if you had low audio, I would suspect that capacitor first. That capacitor is more than likely not a 220 or whatever it's supposed to be anymore. So that'd be the first place to check. Honestly, until I started this channel, I've never really worked on portable radios. This one, little pocket trend. We didn't work on that stuff when I worked for a radio shop years ago. We worked on televisions. 99% of what we did was televisions. And I'm gonna get my secret weapon back out. So I didn't work on any of these things. I probably worked on one or two, and I remember they didn't work out very well. Anyway, I'm waiting on my desoldering machine. But anyway, getting back to the capacitor testing. Me, I've got an ICO. I got a Heathkit capacitor tester, and I also have my Syncor capacitor analyzer. But I also use an ohmmeter, and you can use an ohmmeter if you know what to look for. But I also have a little small handheld tester, and here we'll just go rogue for a second. I'll show you what I have. This is my little Heathkit capacitor tester right here. This thing is old as the hills. It's a model C3. This thing will check as low as 25 volts. So if you're working on this right here, this little portable radio which uses 10 volt capacitors, you can't use this. Okay, so I will be using this to test. Now this thing, you probably could find one on eBay, maybe fairly. They're not cheap. Believe it or not, somebody gave me this. This thing works perfect. But the other thing that you could use is this little dude. This thing's made in China. A million of these things are looking around. Just look for transistor tester or component tester. And usually you get these in a kit form and you put them together. Me, this here used to have a little socket on here that you plugged into and all that horse crap. But I wanted these kind of leads on it. So this is what I have here. This will check transistors and diodes and resistors and coils and capacitors. And it's fairly accurate, believe it or not. And I think this thing was $30, but I've had this thing forever. And so we'll test the capacitor on this, and then we'll test it on that. And we'll see just how close it is. But look on Amazon or somewhere like that, look for a transistor tester. And usually you'll find a good one. They're all built about the same. So let me put you back in here. I ain't telling you guys to change out capacitors just on a silly whim, but I'll hold to my guns that these old radios, capacitors are going to be the biggest problem that you run into. Don't start pulling transistors or all that kind of horse manure. Like I said, this has low audio output. I suspect this capacitor that I'm about to extract is bad. I can tell you right now it's bad. Because the negative lead, you can see that negative lead has got rust all over it. This capacitor's bad, I can tell you right now. Don't believe me, huh? Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to wide you out. First thing we'll do, we'll use this one. This is a 50 microfarad 10 volt capacitor. Doesn't matter about the lead polarity on this meter. Just take two of the three leads, connect it on the component, push the on button. Let it do its thing. It auto senses and it detects what's going on. This capacitor measures 90 microfarads, what it says. Now you notice 90 microfarad when it says it's a 50 microfarad. You're going to think, oh wow, this thing's better than expected. No. These capacitor testers, they inject a voltage into the component and they see how long that voltage takes to come up to 5 volts. And then they use that as a calculation to tell you, a capacitor has a certain charge rate, and they look at that charge rate and they determine what the capacitance is from it. However, if this capacitor is leaky, what do you think it's going to do to that charge rate? So let's go into this guy. Alright, I'm going to zoom in. Are you ready? Alright, got it on. I'm going to select the type of capacitor, and I think I said 50 microfarad. So you enter 50. Come on, Sam. 50 microfarad, 10 volts. Alright. We press capacitor value. It's showing 50.7 microfarad. Let's look at the leakage. Less than 500 ohms leakage and greater than 20 milliamps. That's a bad capacitor. This capacitor is bad. Alright. So what do we do now? Good question. What do we do now? Of course, we replace the capacitor. So, Let me get one. Let me get my stash right here. I had thousands of them a while ago that I found. Probably won't be able to find another one. Got pins run out the rear end. Here we go. These are 47 to 35. That'll work. Alright, so let's see. I think the minus side goes toward the speaker. Let's see, I didn't pay attention to how this capacitor come out. Now I'm in trouble. Yep. See, I did what I told y'all not to do. Yeah, it did. I believe I got it right though. I remember that speaker lead was on that pad that was very short, and the other one goes toward the transistor, and the transistor is going to be a positive voltage, and the speaker is going to be at ground potential. At least I think. So it's either going to work or it ain't. Find out in just mere seconds. Here we go. Will it work? Will it blow up? It's on frame. Here we go.
Pharmaceutical companies will take the blame. Spend liability. Even if you gave your child a shot, adverse reaction, an SAE, and that child became, I don't know, brain
A little louder.
died, paralyzed, lost.
Alright. Let's go on to the next one. Trying to remember how I did this now. Remember the writing's on the right. Yeah, this radio ain't big enough for nothing more than a 10-minute video. Okay, I got something I got to do. I'll bring you right back. I did exactly what I told you guys not to do. I had to go back and research the video because I had put that capacitor in wrong. I wasn't paying attention. I was running my mouth. But I went back and looked at the video and found, yes, I did have the capacitor in backwards. So, my mistake. Don't do what I do. Do what I tell you to do. Anyway, got that fixed. So I guess let's power it back up and see how it works now.
We need is 34,000 tons. That is a 2,000-ton shortage. This gold investment has long warned the market about U.S. transition to renewable energy will put pressure on silver production. Silver is used in solar cells, industrial fabrication, and the automotive industry.
Okay, well, guess we didn't blow it up. Yep, let's move on. Got another capacitor in here. This time, we're looking at it. The writing is facing the ferrite antenna. Can't believe I did that. Yeah, I can. It's me. No. Anyway, the writing's facing the ferrite antenna, which means the positive side is on my right. Oh, wow. See all that gunk around the legs? That capacitor's bad. Another 50 microfarad. I know I got some more in here somewhere. There we go. Alright, the plus side is facing get through changing bad capacitors. This thing should work pretty good. If I didn't put it in backwards. Y'all in frame? Yeah. Here we go. Powering it up again.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. With no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1, a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call.
Well, that's getting better. I think I've got one more capacitor to change. Boy, is it buried in here. Whoa, my gosh. It is buried, man. It is like right there. It is some kind of buried. What I'm going to do, because I'm so damn forgetful here lately, get y'all back in front of all this. Get y'all back in front. I'm going to just put a mark on the can and on the side of the capacitor. That way, if I do forget, which I will, which side it came out of, I know how to put it back together. I think I got lucky. Let's see what happens. Still in frame? Yeah. You damn, I got lucky. Get it right off the bat. Well, this is a 10 microfarad at 6 volts. I thought I saw a 10 microfarad running around here. There's 100 microfarad. Boy, we don't need that. Another 100 microfarad. My God. If I was looking for 100 microfarad, I'd never find it. 22. Come on, man. Another 100. Another 100. I'll go somewhere else. Maybe I'll find 100. Good Lord. Dang well, I saw a 10 microfarad in here somewhere. Good Lord, nothing but hundreds. Hundreds, hundreds, and hundreds. Oh, there's semiconductor don't belong in there. Crap. Grab back. Good Lord, that was... Alright, found one. Now I forgot what was what. Plus was on the right. Plus was on the right, which means the minus is going to be on the left. So I think these are the right holes. Yep. Yay! Found it! First time. Yay for me. Resolder all this stuff. In frame, thank goodness. Okay. This should do it. You make it work or it won't.
Doctors had been funding through
There you go.
Isaac and Eagley Alliance. And of course I say that all the time, I'm tongue-in-cheek. Because that February 1 meeting is exactly what they were doing. There's just so many conspiracies and so little time here. A lot of them
Okay.
live in the killers, what you would expect.
It's working.
Lots of media.
You put it back in the
Because,
case.
you know, he had to...
Okay.
That's why seeing what's happening
This poor old thing.
in terms of the history of where we were is why it's important for
It's working. There's no powerhouse.
vaccines began in young children. The Moderna investigators published a paper in the New England Journal of Medicine. Deep in the paper's appendix, Moderna disclosed a
There you go. It's working. Just a few capacitors and a battery connector, and that's all it took.
investigators found was indeed vaccine.
The thing is
Is a
pretty
very
bad.
serious vaccine caused side effect.
It's been subjected to heat, Lord knows what else. It is pretty shrunk.
Mentioned anywhere else. On page 62
Poor old thing.
of the paper,
But it works. So, another one rescued. Alright, thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.